touch later.
So if you found this video, you're probably thinking about moving or buying on Perdido Key, Florida. It is probably one of the prettiest places here on the Gulf Coast. It's probably ranked right behind like Pensacola Beach and Navarre, but it is an amazing place. This is a perfect slice of paradise just south and east along the coast of Pensacola, Florida, still in Escambia County, but we're gonna talk about it in this video. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about buying a property, condo, beach house on Perdido Key, and all the things you should never do if you're going to buy a property on Perdido Key. Those never buy houses. So I'm going to talk about that in this video, things you need to know. And as a real estate agent slash YouTuber here on the Gulf Coast, because I've made a YouTube video on about everything on the Gulf Coast, check those videos out. I'm going to tell you as much as I can, and we're going to walk through it because it just has so much to offer, and it's still not really like on the radar of a lot of places, and there's a lot to do. So let's get right to it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is flood zones, okay? So you got to understand when you're buying a property on Perdido Key, Navarre Beach, Pensacola Beach, Orange Beach, any of these islands, these waterfront areas, you're going to be in a flood zone, most likely. The best way to associate yourself with this is to go to the FEMA flood map and type in Perdido Key, Florida, or the address of the property you're looking at, and then look at the map. You're going to see it's all AE or more, and it's going to catch water most likely in a major hurricane. All the houses are going to be built usually on stilts, pylons, some type of raised higher than water level type platform. Most all the air conditioners will be up. Everything will be up high. When you're buying a condo, same thing. Everything's going to be prepped for hurricane force winds, tornadoes, those things. Once you understand that properties can be hardened for hurricanes and they will survive. A lot of people actually stayed on Perdido Key, Navarre Beach, Pensacola Beach, Orange Beach, Destin during the hurricanes, and they were fine. You just got to make sure you're buying a property that's got hurricane clips, it's got a good roof, it's got a good air conditioning unit, it's got a good strong wind mitigation system, and you're going to be fine. I would just do your best on picking the property correctly. Use a great real estate agent that knows what they're doing, that has sold properties on these islands before. Ask a lot of questions and have lots of inspections done. That is the best way to go about this, and you're going to be fine. Just be smart about it. Just know on Perdido Key, it is an insurance game just like all the rest of the beach houses on the other beaches. Make sure you have insurance. So therefore, you need to be able to pass a 4-point and a wind mitigation inspection. And that means newer roof, less than 15 years old, okay? 155-mile windows with hurricane shutters. Make sure you got the hurricane clips on the roof. Make sure it's got everything possible that the insurance company's going to want. Or your insurance premium is going to be through the roof if you can even get one. Especially like June, July, a lot of these insurance companies make it really hard to find insurance. That's why it needs to be kind of modern. It needs to be in great shape. The HVAC, the 4-point, plumbing, wiring, everything on a 4-point needs to be strong. Or your insurance is going to be rough. And some of these policies are coming back pretty staggering. It's a real big deal in the state of Florida. So just know it going in that you need a property that will inspect well and insurance won't have a problem with. Make sure it's off the ground. Make sure it has an elevation certificate and survey. And you're able to give everything to the insurance company they want. You need to make a choice on whether you want to live waterfront on the beach side or on the sound side, the intercoastal waterway. You know, you can take your boat from the back of your house on the intercoastal all the way to Floribama and just keep going. There's a lot of water, a lot of experiences, a lot of things to do. You can even turn and burn back to Pensacola Beach via the intercoastal waterway. You can come all the way out the pass. You can do a lot of things from the sound side. On the Gulf side, you got an amazing view, you got amazing marine life and surfing and whatever you may want to be, kayak fishing, surf fishing, or just hanging out on the beach. got to pick and choose which one you want. Each one comes with one or the other. Just like I said, you can have a boat with a boat lift, and you can go up and down the intercoastal. Go a lot of different places. You can even go all the way down and out the pass into the big water. But it just depends on whether you want to have a boat or not. So if it was me, I would rather have the beach view. If I had a boat, I'd rather have the sound side and just go over to the beach side. Just things to think about. So there are a lot of new builds going up on Perdido Key as you get towards like Floribama or down the island. They are going to be built to code for, you know, really strong hurricanes. Some of them are putting in slips. They're putting in boat slip capabilities. And they usually sell really fast. One thing you got to understand, during the summer, the beach gets very crowded. You know, most of these beach areas are seasonal, like from, let's say, late October to February. There's not a lot going on. You know, it's mostly just locals hanging out. But then when you get to March through, like, let's say school, like when school starts back, it is crowded. It's madhouse. So you got to figure out, do you want to be close to the craziness or do you want to be away from it? Some areas are going to HOAs, non-short-term rentals, and some have short-term rentals. So if you're buying a property and you're wanting to be quiet, but that area also allows short-term rentals, you could have a high frequency of people coming in and out of your area. So just be prepared for that. Also know if you buy a property where there's a vacant lot right next to it, one day they might build on it, and then you listen to pylons being hammered for the next 6 months. Also think about, you know, all of this is an insurance game. So you got to think about what type of insurance. Is this house going to be insurable? Is there going to be anything in this that, you know, any old roofs, anything like that, bad plumbing that's going to keep me from being able to get a good insurance policy? If you're wanting to do short-term rentals, I would definitely suggest you have a real estate agent that knows how to ensure the HOA documents and everything are gone through thoroughly to make sure you will be able to do what you're wanting to do with your property, because some places do have limiting and you know, things on a property. It won't let you Airbnb, whether it's an HOA or whether some of these you know, like Santa Rosa Island Authority over there on Pensacola Beach, Navarre-ish, might put in some type of legislation to affect it. Like if you look at Okaloosa County, I think that if it's not on the beach, you can't short-term rental like Airbnb, but if it's on the beach, you can. Orange Beach has got its own little map saying where you can and can't. They're really trying to restrict a lot of the infrastructure use because there's so much throughput, so much turnover. So just be aware of that on Perdido Key. It's going to be location specific and it's going to be neighborhood specific, and make sure you ask that question when you go to buy the property. Because once you buy the property and you find out you can't Airbnb it and you wanted to, well, that's going to be a problem. Some people don't want to, or they might want to just on that one Blue Angel weekend where profits go through the roof because everybody's on Pensacola Beach or everybody's here watching the Blue Angels. Okay, the next one I'll talk about is if you're buying a beach house, try to get one with an elevator. It's really important for resale and for, you know, if you're older, you're going to want to go up in an elevator instead of taking the long windy staircase all the way up, especially if you're moving in and out. Washing machines, couches, things like that are hard to get up the stairs. Hard to get down. When you got groceries and try to come in and out, sometimes an elevator is great. Most clients I've had, all of them ask about elevators. That's one thing you need to think about on any beach house is an elevator, whether you're going to have one or not, and how high it is. Also, if you have multiple porches, know that you're going to need some ability to get up and down. I highly suggest you get a good home inspection on all the beach houses, okay? Especially if they're older, let's say 2000 and below, because the salt air does a lot to a beach house. Everything from the nails to the wood rot to everything. Make sure. I had a client not too long ago. She found out her 3-story porch was completely rotten and could have fell off. It was basically just hanging on the side of the house. So make sure you have a good home inspection. Know that anything metal, when it's touched by salt, will start to corrode and degrade, especially air conditioned units. They look like Skeletor after like 5 or 10 years. So know that maintenance is going to be higher than normal on any beach house. And make sure before you get in there, you inspect it thoroughly. I've seen a lot of multi-million-dollar beach houses that were in rough shape once the inspector went through it and pointed it out. Just keep that in mind. If you're buying a short-term rental, make sure you see the profit and loss statement on that property. Ask the agent, ask the management company for a legit profit and loss statement, not one that they just whipped up on an Excel spreadsheet. Make sure you see it. Make sure you see the numbers. Make sure you can get the insurance that they're using if they're getting those numbers, because sometimes insurance being a lot higher can affect your cash flow, your profit and loss statement. Know that these numbers have got to be legit. Also understand your taxes on the beach. Understand anything that would change the numbers away from those Airbnb or short-term numbers you're seeing on there. Also know who's going to be managing it if you're doing short-term. Know what type of percentage that management company is going to take from you. If you're in a condo, know that ever since that one condo collapsed, that some of the financing for condos can be totally different now. Like, got to make sure they've gone through inspections and certifications and know that they're safe, solid, and sound before some lenders will even lend on it, and make sure the insurance company's cool with it too before they'll insure it. Make sure you go through the step-by-step process when buying a condo. Sometimes this has to do with the year it was built and the upkeep and everything that's gone on with it. Also know your water access, okay? Some places on the beaches, it's terrible to buy a $2 million beach house and not know where you're going to access the beach. I've seen a lot of people buy a really nice house and they have to get in their car and drive 2 or 3 miles to the public access, and they're still no closer to the beach than they were in town. Time-wise. So know where you're going to go to the beach. If you're wanting water access, make sure you buy a property with water access, whether it's in the neighborhood or waterfront or, however you're going to go about that, a condo with its own beach access or a condo with a pool. Know that, because on Perdido Key, Pensacola Beach, all of them, by like 10:30, 11 o'clock on a July day, there's going to be no parking. Absolutely no parking. So you got to know how you're going to enjoy the water. If you're not a beach person, and it's a nightlife thing, know if you're going to be close to the bars or not, and if you're going to be close to all the noise and the sound, the tourists. Make sure you know all these things before you go in and purchase the house. I want to add too, make sure, and this is any property on Santa Rosa Island, Pensacola Beach, Navarre Beach, and check and make sure on Perdido Key, whether it may or may not. It probably won't, but it might be a leasehold. Make sure you understand leasehold, especially if you're close to these national parks. Make sure that your agent, you, everybody involved, there is or isn't leasehold, because that is going to be a big difference. You need to make sure your lender's tracking everything. Make sure you understand leaseholds. I talked about it in my other videos for Pensacola Beach and Navarre Beach. Just make sure everybody understands if there's going to be one or not. It's a 99-year lease for the property. It's your property, but the land is leased to you for 99 years. Make sure that when the counter starts and stops, and check with the Santa Rosa Island Authority, check with the municipality in Perdido Key. Make sure it is or isn't. Understand the difference. Just FYI, probably won't have too big of a problem in Perdido Key, but just know. I would also suggest getting a national park pass and a state park pass so you can use all the different types of things possible on Perdido Key. But that's it, everybody. Comment down below if you have any experience with buying on Perdido Key. I happen to be a real estate agent here on the Gulf Coast, licensed in Florida and Alabama. So whether you're in Orange Beach, Perdido Key, Pensacola Beach, Destin, Fort Walton, let me know. I'd be happy to help you. My email is down below. You can get in touch with me via email or phone. And hope you guys have a great journey on buying a property. I'd love to help you buy a property. If not, hope you learned something. Hope I was able to give you some information that you can take on your journey. See you guys later.